Hello everybody, I'm Yoshikigami, president of Boss. I'm talking from Japan. Hi Matt, how are you doing?
Good, thank you. Hi, Yoshi-san. Hi to everyone joining. My name's Matt, European Product Manager for Boss, and this is Talk with Boss, our weekly live stream where we dive into various topics over our kind of history. And Yoshi-san, do you want to introduce the theme for this week?
Yes. Wow, wow. Everybody loves to play, right?
Yes, yes. One of the original guitar effects all the way back from the 1960s. And when originally developed, its name was pinned to the sound of a muted trumpet, which sounds bizarre today, but obviously it was a great time of experimentation in the 60s. And like you said, very expressive. Guitarists love to use wah. It's a very expressive effect because you're controlling it with your foot. But also auto wah, which allows you to automatically sweep the filter of a guitar pedal. And, from this was born Roland's first products. This is before Boss, which was the AW10 and the AD50 double beat. Yoshi-san, do you want to introduce a little bit of the history with those two products?
Yeah, they were released in 1973. Two models released at the same time. So AW10 wow beat is very simple wow pedal, and AD50 double beat had wow and fuzz into one pedal. Maybe everybody's using wow wow with fuzz. So maybe that idea comes from such a situation, I think. And also AD50 had some running change, design change. Started with, that used the crank type of the pod mechanical. But we changed that mechanic to the gear type. Maybe crank is like a car engine, piston moving changes to rotation. It's the same pedal moving to volume rotation. And also gear is like a car steering,
Right, yeah.
Yes.
And that's helping control the actual movement of the actual wah part.
And they are using all discrete circuit. And also AD50, you can change the wow and fuzz on off. And also fuzz has a three type of different sound. So one wow sound and with three different fuzz sound, you can create your own unique sound.
Yeah, and I think all the way back in 1973, the Roland and Boss innovation, with the engineers and thinking, how can we take a circuit that was designed only a few years ago and make it, something completely different. And like you said, everyone loves to use a wah and a fuzz together. So that was all the way back in 1973. Now, the next products we're going to talk about are when Boss enters the scene. But I quickly just want to jump into the comments and say hello to a few of the people that are joining us today. We've got Adam from the UK. We know Adam. He's one of our store guys, so hi Adam. But if anyone's watching has got any comments when we talk about some of the products that we go through, please drop your comments in there and we'll check them out later on. So Yoshi-san, we'll start with the TW1. This was our Touchwire all the way back in 1978, and it was the first Boss product for this sound. Do you want to talk a little bit about the development history of this product?
Yes, this is first Boss compact pedal wah-wah, and as we talked, we had a Roland brand wah-wah already, and also how to make a Boss compact pedal wah-wah. It's impossible to have a pedal, right?
Yes.
So the idea comes from probably that's limitation of the compact pedal. So, and also for most of the beginners, it's very difficult to control wow matching to the play, right? So automatic wow, touch wow is probably very good for such a regular guitarist. And as a design, unique point is TW1 used photocoupler.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, photocoupler. It's called another name, opt isolator. That is isolated, you know. So that has envelope follower circuit, and envelope follower circuit drives LED, and also that has light receiver, phototransistor. Phototransistor changes register by light, you know.
Right.
So then they are isolated. So we can change the wah filter by using this photocoupler, following guitar signal, you know. So also TW1 has a polarity switch. So that's changed a filter polarity, so up or down, you know.
Right.
And also, yes, so the photocoupler simulate a real wow pedal
like the movement,
linked to the volume port, right?
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Photocoupler is very much unique part material for such kind of circuit.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we were using photocouplers in compressors at the same time as well. So,
you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. So even then, you know, we think all the way back to 1978, a very unique approach to controlling, you know, the expressiveness of a wah pedal in compact, you know, form. I think that, you know, it's amazing to think that's where we started. And actually, a year later, we did bring Boss into the kind of real wah, as we would say, with the PW1, which was the rocker wah.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about the history with that particular product?
Yes. So maybe we provided some rocker series pedal, and PW1 is one of rocker series, and that has 3 different wah band that has H, M, and L. So you can change filter band from low, mid to high, and also that has a wide knob that controls how wide works the filter. So you can customize your sound by using these parameters.
Amazing,
and that was kind of like very much unique function at that days. And also another, you know, unique point is that has toe switch. My pronunciation is okay. Toe switch.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now it's very much popular. You know, all the multi effect has toe switch, but probably this local wow is the first started to use such a function, probably.
Yeah.
And also as a circuit, unique point is that use the whole device. Whole device is one of the magnetic device, and changing the register by magnetic force.
Right. Okay.
So all the wah pedal problem is always you have a mechanical problem, and also that's provide popping noise, you know, volume from volume, you know. But magnetic this whole device doesn't use any mechanical contact.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So you never have such a popping noise problem.
Wow.
So that is very much unique challenge of the circuit. So
Yeah.
maybe around 70s, 80s, you know, every day device manufacturer design new device,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
our culture, we love new always.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we always try to use new device. So
Yes, of course,
maybe
yeah.
Rocker series, this is very big change in this whole device thing.
Yeah, and I think, you know, over the last year we've always talked about Boss engineers, you know, desire to improve, you know, technology and fix customer problems,
Mhm.
and, you know, all the way back in '79, taking that wire effect and actually making it and developing it and changing it, you know, to make it the best thing for the customer. Um, and at the time, we also had the volume version, which I think was the PV1.
Mhm.
And if you haven't seen one, they were quite a large aluminium die-cast
Mhm.
case. They were big, but they were easy to control, and actually, you still see some pro old like Nashville session guys still have a kind of PW1 or a volume pedal
Mhm.
on their pedal board. And in 1986, so we move forward a few years, we actually released the FT2, which we called the dynamic filter.
Mhm.
So we kind of lost the wah name but gained the filter name. What was the idea with this particular product?
Yeah, probably, Wow Wow has a very much concrete image, you know. So
Yeah.
we wanted to try to change the image of the Wow
Mhm.
Wow. So
Mhm.
but filter is kind of like a technical name. I don't
Mhm.
know that it's good or bad, but actually, FT2 was very short life. Only 2 years we could
Wow.
sell,
Wow.
and also this FT2, of course, didn't use coil for the
Mhm.
wow wow filter.
Mhm.
This uses the VCA type of device. So
Right.
that
Okay.
filter is like a VCF, voltage controlled filter.
Mhm.
And the sound is very unique.
Mhm.
Usually, Wow Wow uses bandpass filter. That
Mhm.
bandpass filter Q provide that's trumpet sound, mute sound.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes. Kind of the more traditional
yeah, very
wah sound.
resonance sound.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
this model used the low pass filter. That's
Right. Okay.
unique.
Yeah, and I guess low pass in a kind of simple explanation just means it's like a fatter,
Hmm?
thicker wah sound, right?
Yes, yeah. You know, maybe people want to have a wow wow sound, but sometimes they said, "Oh, I want a much more thick sound, or
Mhm.
much more strong sound."
Yeah.
So we decided to use the low pass filter.
Mhm.
Band pass filter gives much more resonance sound, but low pass
Mhm.
filter gives more natural and thick
Mhm.
sound. And
Yeah.
also, FT2, you can change center frequency of the filter.
Right. Okay.
And also, you can connect expression pedal to
Mhm.
control center frequency. So that
Mhm.
works like a regular wah-wah pedal.
Right.
So, yeah, FT2 was totally challenging product as a
Yeah.
technical and naming, and
Yeah.
also that has some mode and parameters. Maybe filter name is not so much intuitive to guitarist.
I think maybe just a bit ahead of its time, because a very, very unique sound and
Mm.
a very unique circuit, like you said, compared to what people were used to.
Mhm.
But yes, definitely a bit of a Boss rarity, only being made for for 2 years. So our next product in 1991 was actually the AW2, and this was our auto wah. So we kind of returned to the wah naming, I guess.
Yes, maybe we prefer a much more intuitive name, so
Yeah.
we return to wow.
Yeah.
And also sound, it's same to return to much more orthodox traditional sound, maybe close to TW1.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also that has, of course, regular auto sound, and also adding modulation circuit. So you can have a modulation wow wow. So you can control LFO rate and depth. And also that has auto wow wow. You can change the sensitivity, and also manual change the frequency. So you can mix all three parameters. So very much unique function.
Yeah, huge. Again, another step forward and innovation at the time. Starting with the FT2 and into the AW2. What do you think were the difficulties in developing this kind of circuit?
Yeah, automatic wow wow is very much useful, but if it's fit for your feeling, right? And manual, but you have to control by foot.
Yes.
Wow wow, it's under your control. But automatic wow wow, if we can set that feeling very much fit to prayer, that is good. But sometimes it doesn't fit,
Right,
so
yes.
it's very much difficult to make a good balance of such a working. And also, people want to have very smooth change of filter sound, but people want to have much more fast tracking of their play.
Right. Yeah.
They are kind of like opposite side. Very smooth but fast tracking. So that such kind of making balance is very much difficult. So that is a very much challenging point.
Yeah, I guess we don't necessarily always think about that because people go, oh, you can control a wah pedal with your foot. It's very expressive. So trying to recreate that feeling and like you say, balance for guitar players in a compact must have been quite a challenging thing to do. And from the AW2 and that kind of first auto wah, we actually come to the AW3, which is our dynamic wah, which came out in 2000 and is still in our product catalogue today, so over 20 years old. How was the development for this product? What was different?
Yes, AW3 was totally digital.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, before AW3, they are analog, right?
Yes.
But
yes.
AW3 was digital. We used the DSP. Maybe after 90s, Boss started to have a DSP product. Maybe.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
First compact pedal was RV2. Yeah. And also we decided to develop our own original DSP inside of the Boss. And maybe RV2 was the first generation. And we improved the DSP every year. And maybe second generation was HR2 PS3 or something. And then RV3 and PH3 and PS5 and AW3. From PS5 to AW3, that evolution was huge. Yeah, AW3 DSP had much more capability, and so we can make much more complicated process inside of the DSP. So
Right. Okay.
AW3 had a very much good picking response because of the DSP power, you
Right.
know,
Okay.
and also that has up and down, and also unique, sharp, and also that has a tempo,
Right. Okay.
auto tempo, and another unique mode is humanizer.
Yes.
Humanizer has vowel sound.
Yes. 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 That's right. Yeah.
AEO. You can make two vowel sound combination.
Yeah, and it will sweep between the two, and actually, which kind of felt like a totally new sound,
Mm.
New generation of kind of filter effects at the time. Was that humanizer algorithm specifically designed for the AW3?
Oh, actually, that was designed for ME8. Yeah.
Right. Wow. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So multi effect has a big body, so we can put in much more bigger circuit into the multi effect. But for compact pedals, uh, humanizer requires much more DSP power, so we couldn't add that mode until AW3. But
Right.
as I
Okay.
said, that's DSP has much more capability, so we decided to put in humanizer to AW3.
Ah. Okay. Okay. And then I guess as well, the same as previous compacts like the FT2, AW2, we also had the external expression input as well, so you could use it like a more traditional pedal wah, and it has a dedicated bass input, so great for all of the
Yes.
bass players as well. So there's changing the kind of response for bass players. And then at similar timing, not long after that, in 2002, we actually released the PW10V wah, which was my first experience with a Boss kind of wah effect, and some very unique features. Do you want to talk about the design of that particular product?
Yeah. As I said, thanks to high power DSP and also our development of the match effects, we had a lot of modeling as a COSM, right? So
Yeah.
we thought we can have much more different type of wow sound into one pedal. That is the PW10, and
Yeah.
also so that has 8 different type of wow sound. We modeled some vintage famous wow,
Yes.
and also
Yes.
that has another humanizer, kind of like this voice mode, and also dub resonance provide the sound, which is like a analog synthesizer. That has such kind of unique mode, and also another thing is PWT, you can memory your setting.
Yeah, which is amazing, because one thing that a lot of people didn't realise, it's not obvious from the front, is that also it has 8 type of distortion effects in it, so you can make some really kind of crazy and aggressive sounds mixing distortion sound and the wah sound. Was there anything else unique from a design point of view?
Yes. Very unique point with circuit design is how to move the filter.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
As I said, first one use the infrared photocoupler and also
Yes.
magnetic device, but this use the infrared type of
Right. Okay.
detector. So infrared LED light to the pedal. The pedal has a reflector, like a mirror, Then
Right. Okay. Yeah.
light receiver receives the light, So that is very much new new device
Yeah,
again,
totally.
and also that's same to the that doesn't use any mechanical contact, so no popping noise and very stable work, and also that probably I think PW10 has toe switch and heel switch.
Yes,
Probably
yes, yeah.
two
I
switches.
think I think it was dual design, one for wah, one for distortion.
Yes.
I think. I can't remember if you could change the memories with those as well, but what was great was the switches were noiseless. The whole thing was very quiet. And again, you know, that next evolution from the engineer team
Yeah.
to develop, you know, quiet, you know, products without any too much mechanical parts or anything as well. So really unique design for the time. And then obviously that, as we said, that was digital. But when we moved to our next product, which was the PW3, back in 2015, this was analog. This had two modes. So we had a vintage mode for a classic wah sound, and then we had a rich mode, which added a little bit more low end, like a thicker sound. With the vintage mode, was there any particular model that you sort of referred to for the sound design?
Yeah. After PW10, we provided some modeling by using digital, and still some guys love the PW10, but at that time people went to kind of like vintage trend, you know. So we decided to analyze Italian vintage wow wow. So our American team found very good condition Italian vintage wow in the US, and they sent that unit to Japan. So we carefully analyzed that pedal, and especially, you know, most important part of the wow wow is the filter, and also coil is very much important.
Yes.
So we analyzed the material of the coil and how many turns, and also how change the sound by temperature. Then we studied the very much classic, authentic wow sound, and also we used latest very low noise circuit with it. So that is PW10.
Yeah, and what was
PW3,
your
sorry.
Sorry, yeah, PW3. What was when you were designing the circuit? What points did you focus on in particular?
Yeah, when we analyzing the vintage wow wow, we knew that wow wow is not stable. You know, temperature change provide a lot of sound change. So we decided to realize vintage sound with much more stable work. And also another thing was we decided to use durable aluminum die-cast case, and also sometimes you know, you cannot check the wow is on or off, so we decided to add LED indicator beside of the case.
Yes, yeah, I remember the first time I played a wah pedal and was like, why is my sound so bright? And of course, you haven't turned it off. Filter is set all the way to maximum. So adding the LEDs was a great way to show actually if you were using the pedal or not. So that was the vintage mode. What about the rich mode? What were you thinking for the design of that side of the circuit?
Yeah, we always try to create new sound, you know, then simulate or realize some vintage sound. That is good. But some guys said, I want to have much more low end sound. I want to have strong and much more sick sound or something. So we decided to provide some new wide range type of wow sound. So
Right, yeah.
intentionally we keep low end sound. So probably that's provide a very much authentic wow sound, and also adding some low that is kind of like a modern vintage sound.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think taking all the best points of the kind of classic sound, but maybe adding some things that a lot of customers and a lot of people, players, they want, a little bit more low end and fill out that mix. And actually, one thing we don't really talk about clearly, but there's a specific design to the buffer in PW3 as well, right?
Yes. Vintage wah-wah pedal that has very much low impedance input. That is usually not so good. It's not stable work, but that is one of the important part of the sound, vintage sound of the wow. So we decided to use our boss buffer and also sometimes without buffer. So
Yes.
if you turn on wow wow, input buffer turns off, and also the circuit connected directly to wow wow circuit. And when you turn off wow wow, the buffer is on, turns on, and connected into the circuit. So
Right, okay.
Yeah, when you're using wow wow, that works like a vintage wow wow pedal. And you turn off the wow wow pedal, then that works like a recent boss pedals,
Right,
with buffer.
Right, okay. Yeah, so it kind of allows us to work in combination with other products or, fuzzes and, things like that. But yeah, it gives us, the boss buffer, but also we can turn it off if we're using it in combination with other products. And one other great tip, I think, for anyone trying a PW3 or has one, is that you can alter the feel to turn it on and off as well. So there's some sort of like sheets included that you can alter that change the way it feels. So you can add more or less force to the on and off depending on how you want it as well. So all around, like a really solid wah pedal. So absolutely worth checking out if you haven't already. So just before we wrap up, as always, we'll go to the comments. Good morning to Paul. Paul joins us every week. He said the PW10 was great. I wish I hadn't swapped it for a blues driver. Well, you can always try the PW3. Adam, PW3 has to be the sturdiest wah pedal out there. Vintage mode for the win. So yeah, thanks guys for joining in. Everyone else, obviously you can always feel free to comment. And we'll always try and get through to as many as we can.
Hi Andy and hi Jared.
Yes, I think a few more guys have joined in as well. So morning, afternoon, wherever you are, and thanks for joining in. So today we actually introduced 9 products, and almost surprising, for me, how much we've evolved, but how many products we have in that category, going back, over 40 years, and still, as we said, have the PW3 and the AW3 in our lineup today. So if you've watched today, you haven't tried either of those, do go and check one out. Let us know what you think, and we'll always enjoy your comments. So Yoshi-san, do you want to introduce the theme for next week?
Yeah, maybe next would be for low end guy, for bassist. BB1X, BC1X from X3s, and ODB3, GB7, CEB3, like, all boss bass pedal lineup.
Yes, we have a lot out there for the bass players. So definitely, look for the announcement of next week's stream after this one. Post any of your comments in there. And as always, we'll try and answer as many questions as we can. But lots to talk about. So we will post the announcement for next week's stream after this one. It will be May the 19th, 7:30 a.m. UK time, 3:30 p.m. Japanese Standard Time, and it will be at 11:30 p.m. LA time, but that will be obviously the night before May the 18th. And we look forward to seeing you all then. Thanks very much. See you next week.
Thank you very much, everybody, for joining. See you next week.